making headlines. The Maldives welcomes the adoption of the Gaza reconstruction plan presented by Egypt. The government appoints Brigadier General retired Farhad Shahir as the CEO and Managing Director of MIFCO. The government says Mariam Wissam will remain on the governing board of MIFSA despite stepping down as the Register of Companies.
Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamu alaikum. Welcome to PSM News in English with me, Hafiz Abdul Sattar. And now the news in detail. The Maldives welcomes the adoption of the Gaza reconstruction plan presented by Egypt, which was endorsed at the Arab League Summit on Gaza in Cairo, Egypt. The Maldives' support was announced by the Minister of Foreign Affairs, Dr. Abdullah Khalil, on a post on social media platform X following the summit's approval of the Egypt's proposal.
The Arab Summit in Cairo, Egypt, approved Egypt's proposal to replace U.S. President Donald Trump's vision of expelling Gaza's Muslims and developing a Riviera in Gaza. In his post, Foreign Minister said the proposed plans focus on relief and rebuilding of Gaza under the governance of the Palestinian Authority paves way for a lasting peaceful solution where the people of Palestine can remain on their land and uphold the Palestinian cause. He expressed hope that with these measures, the establishment of an independent state in Palestine would come about, consistent with the pre-1967 Palestinian borders with East Jerusalem as its sovereign state. Egypt's proposal includes transitional measures, reconstruction, and governance. Under the first phase of the Egyptian proposal, a governing committee will be formed for Gaza within 6 months. According to the plan, Gaza's reconstruction would begin with the clearing of rubble from Gaza's Salah al-Din Street. Once the roads are clear, 200,000 housing units will be constructed to accommodate 1.2 million people and about 60,000 damaged buildings restored. The next phase will see the construction of an additional 400,000 homes. The Arab countries have launched talks on the reconstruction of Gaza after Israel's genocide in Gaza destroyed the city's homes and infrastructure. The Israelis launched its inhuman aggression against Gaza on the 7th of October 2023. The death toll in Gaza has risen to 61,700 with another 111,000 injured.
The Attorney General's office says that the Maldives has submitted its written observations in the case of the Gambia versus Myanmar at the International Court of Justice (ICJ). The case involves the application of the Convention on the Prevention and Punishment of the Crime of Genocide, commonly referred to as the Gambia versus Myanmar. The Maldives submission was formally presented to the ICJ on 28 February by Attorney General Ahmad Usham, who serves as the agent for the Maldives in this matter. The Gambia initiated legal proceedings against Myanmar on 11 November 2019, alleging violations of the Genocide Convention through acts committed against the Rohingya Muslim population. These allegations center on the systematic and widespread acts of genocide perpetrated against the Rohingya community in Myanmar's northern Rakhine state. With the support of the Organization for Islamic Cooperation (OIC), the Gambia filed the case following a brutal military crackdown in Myanmar. This crackdown resulted in hundreds of thousands of Rohingya fleeing to neighboring Bangladesh. Subsequently, the Maldives submitted its declaration of intervention in accordance with ICJ procedures. On 3 July 2024, the court found the Maldives' declaration of intervention admissible under Article 63 of the Statute of Court, leading to the invitation for the Maldives to present its written observations on the substantive matters of its intervention. The Attorney General's office detailed the Maldives' observations focused on interpreting several key provisions of the Genocide Convention. These provisions include Article 156 and other articles which collectively address the obligations of states to prevent and punish acts of genocide. The Attorney General's office also reiterated the Maldives' dedication to contributing to the international community's pursuit of justice and upholding the principles and enshrined in the Genocide Convention. High Commissioner of India to the Maldives, G.K. Balasubramaniam, says that India is engaged in discussions with the Maldives government to provide assistance to promote the island nation's fisheries sector. The government has created the Maldives Fisheries and Ocean Resources Marketing and Promotion Limited, MFORMP, with the primary task of promoting the country's fisheries sector. The company was founded with the primary objective of expanding the nation's fishing industry and enhancing its social benefits by promoting and advertising Maldivian products on the global market. This includes products from aquaculture, mariculture, and all marine resources. In a strategic effort to position Kandikuludu as a premier local tourism destination, the Island Council adopts the brand name The Mangrove Island. This initiative, according to the Council, heralds the commencement of extensive advertising and marketing campaigns under the new identity.
The administration has placed a high priority on local tourism development, emphasizing the unique natural and geographical attributes of various Maldivian islands. During a visit to Kandikuludu on 29 February 2024, President Dr. Muhammad Muizzu unveiled plans for an ambitious eco-tourism project designed to leverage the island's distinctive environment. Highlighting the economic potential of the island's natural surroundings, President Dr. Muizzu articulated that the government's initiative seeks to create numerous income opportunities for the island's residential community, enabling them to sustain livelihoods within their home territory. The eco-tourism project, he said, aims to empower the Island Council and local residents to establish small and medium enterprises that harness the island's natural assets for tourism purposes. Hassan Muhammad, president of the Kandikuludu Island Council, in an interview with PSM News, confirmed that the island had been rebranded as the Mangrove Island as part of the council's strategy to enhance local tourism. Promotional activities under this new branding have already commenced, according to Muhammad, including a presentation at the ongoing International Tourismus Bourse (ITB) Berlin 2025 in Berlin, Germany. Muhammad elaborated on the island's progress, noting that necessary permits to offer homestay services to visitors have been obtained. Projects are underway to construct luxury villas on the island, with plans for these villas to feature 70 rooms. The development of a city hotel is also advancing rapidly, he noted, with a portion of the 70-bed city hotel expected to be completed and operational by the end of this year. Discussing the economic benefits of local tourism, Muhammad pointed out that many of the island's youth are currently employed at tourist resorts away from Kandikuludu. The establishment of the city hotel is anticipated to create numerous employment opportunities, allowing these young islanders to return home and work locally, he added. Kandikuludu is renowned for its breathtaking natural beauty and distinctive environmental features, including one of the largest mangrove forests in the Maldives. The island is home to 9 distinct mangrove areas, forming a rich, diverse ecosystem. Among these, 3 mangroves span from 400 feet to 3,000 feet. The island's wetlands serve as a sanctuary for numerous bird and fish species, and Kandikuludu boasts a healthy soil profile that supports lush vegetation.
Ministry of Economic Development and Trade says Mariam Wissam will continue to serve on the governing board of Maldives International Financial Service Authority, MIFSA, despite stepping down as the Registrar of Companies. Following the resignation of Wissam, who has been the Registrar of Companies since 2014, the ministry has thanked her for her services over the past 11 years. The ministry said Wissam has been successful in establishing a strong business structure in the country during her tenure. According to sources, Wissam has resigned as registrar to pursue a career in the private sector. The ministry has thanked Wissam for her decision to continue to serve on the governing board of MIFSA. MIFSA was created to enhance the legal framework for onshore financing services, complementing the offshore services offered under the Special Economic Zone Act. Its mandate includes establishing offshore and onshore development banks, international financial centers, and researching modern solutions to legal and administrative challenges in the financial market, fostering a competitive system in the Maldives. Government appoints Brigadier General retired Farhat Shahir is the Chief Executive Officer, CEO and Managing Director of the Maldives Industrial Fisheries Company Limited, MIFCO. The Privatization and Corporatization Board, PCB, confirmed Farhat's appointment. He has previously served as the CEO of the state-run Indira Gandhi Memorial Hospital, IGMH. Farhat Shahid's appointment as MIFCO's CEO follows the dismissal of Dr. Vitaly Lubnov, MIFCO's first foreign CEO and Managing Director, earlier on Monday. Dr. Vitaly had served in the position since 9 December 2024. Established in 1993, MIFCO plays a pivotal role in developing and expanding Maldives' fisheries sector. Wall Street's main indices finishes higher in topid trading as investors cheered the likely easing of trade tensions between the U.S. and major trading partners.
Stocks turned positive after reports said President Donald Trump was considering a one-month delay of auto tariffs on Canada and Mexico. Equities extended gains after a White House announcement confirmed that Trump agreed to delay tariffs on some vehicles.
We're getting a nice bounce back today, but I don't know that it tells us anything new. What we've really seen in the market is investor uncertainty. We're just waiting for clarification on policies. We've been through this before and we sort of forget it. But, President Trump has a different way of communicating and executing policy, and it does lead to extended uncertainty for the market.
Earlier, Wall Street had also lost ground following mixed economic data and as investors also worried about a trade war.
When we look at tariffs, clearly you need to start thinking about, okay, prices going up just at a time when people want prices going down. It does lead to uncertainty. So it's natural that we're hearing all kinds of worries about inflation, about interest rates, about even slowing GDP. But then you look at the hard data we're getting from the economy. We just came out of a good earnings season, over 15% year-over-year growth. We just got this morning services index up, not just as expected, but even stronger. Our service economy is strong. These are things that tell us an economy doesn't stall on a dime. We may see some side effects from tariffs. It may even slow our growth a little bit. But from our base case economy, I don't see high risks of recessions. I don't see a high risk at all of stalling GDP growth. I think we will see some balancing outcomes from this. We may not be able to pull inflation down quite as fast, but I don't yet see a reason we're going to see a new spike. We may not pull rates down as fast, but we've already been talking about that. I think we're seeing in the short term consumers as cautious as investors.
The S&P 500 gained 64.48 points or 1.12% to end at 5,842.63 points, while the Nasdaq Composite gained 267.57 points or 1.46% to 18,552.73. The Dow Jones Industrial Average rose 485.60 points or 1.14% to 43,006.59.
Cyclone Alfred stalls off Australia's east coast, delaying landfall as officials shut airports, schools and public transport, and residents stockpiled supplies and sent back homes against floodwaters expected when the Category 2 storm hits.
Satellite time-lapse footage showed the cyclone stalling as it approached the east coast of Australia over the week. According to Queensland State Premier David Crisafulli, the storm is now expected to make landfall by March 7th evening or March 8th morning near Brisbane, Australia's third most populous city, said compared with a prior projection of a landfall by early Friday.
We have seen overnight a delay in terms of when the tropical cyclone is due to cross the coast. This does not mean, however, that there is any reduction in terms of the severity of this future event. In fact, now we're already seeing rainfall at significant levels, and people on the north coast are already responding to this, and they are living in it at the moment.
But the storm's destructive reach will stretch across the border regions of the states of Queensland and New South Wales, bringing heavy rain, flooding and damaging winds.
You will experience at least one of those key four challenges: waves, wind, rainfall and or flooding. And it's important that Queenslanders prepare for that. I want to address the cyclone intensity. It remains as a Category 2. And obviously we have seen the delay in the system heading towards the coast. Literally in the last few minutes we've been updated that that could now push into Saturday morning. So if we just unpack where we've been, we overnight saw the system spin around on itself and then it has resumed its journey into the coast. So exactly where it will hit and when still remains unknown.
Alfred has been called by officials a very rare event for Brisbane, Queensland's state capital, with the city last hit by a cyclone more than half a century ago in 1974. The city of around 2.7 million had near misses from cyclones in 1990 and 2019.
Varvara Gracheva defeats two-time Wimbledon champion Petra Kvitova 4-6, 6-3, 6-4 in the first round at Indian Wells.
Kvitova was playing in just her second tournament since having a baby last year. The 34-year-old Czech returned to tour action after 18 months off on maternity leave, where she also exited in the first round. Gracheva converted 45% or 5 out of 11 of breakpoints compared to Kvitova's 33% or 6 out of 18 to earn her first win against the former world number 2. The 24-year-old, who was born in Moscow but now represents France, will meet 9th seed Russian Mira Andreeva in the second round. Poland's Maga Linette also advanced into the second round of the WTA 1000 event on Wednesday, overcoming Peyton Stearns of the United States 6-4, 4-6 and 6-3. Linette will face 4th seed American Jessica Pegula next.
Indian industrial conglomerate Larsen & Toubro is betting on aerospace as a potential growth engine. In particular, the launch of vehicle and satellite manufacturing is the country cuts reliance on imports and boost private sector participation.
L&T, considered a bellwether for India's infrastructure spending because of the scale and breadth of their orders, is also the country's largest private sector defense manufacturer by revenue.
As a company, we believe that the sector is opening up. There is a larger role that we can play beyond manufacturing into the vehicle assembly, integration, into providing launch services. So there is a whole space economy which is opening up, and as L&T we are looking at how we can leverage our legacy, our heritage in this to the future requirements of this segment.
Walking through the facility amid workers building heat shields and other rocket components, Ramachandani said the global launch vehicle market was expected to hit about $160 billion over the next decade. The Indian government has set a target of reaching $44 billion for the country's commercial space sector in that time. The country's privatization push aligns with broader trends seen in the US and China, where companies like SpaceX and private Chinese satellite firms are playing an increasing role in strategic programs. India's first launch of a privately built PSLV booster, delayed from early 2025, is expected to occur by mid-year, though an exact date had not been yet decided. Ramachandani said each booster, several of which are in various stages of assembly in the factory, costs about $30 million. With India making 1.12 trillion rupees, $13.5 billion for domestic defense procurement in FY 2024 to 2025, including 280 billion rupees, $3.4 billion for private industry. L&T is positioning itself to capitalize on the government's ambition to reduce reliance on foreign suppliers.
Space for defense is clearly something all countries are looking at, and it is a strategic segment for the government, and anybody working in the space domain, especially domestic companies, could surely contribute to that. So we are looking at all those aspects of space, and the technologies can be spread across different segments.
Furthermore, L&T said it is looking to expand its role in India's indigenous fighter jet program by increasing production of wings for the Light Combat Aircraft LCA Tejas.
And that's all we have for this hour. Thank you for watching. Wish you all a very pleasant time ahead.
ಬರಕಾತೆರಿ ರಮಲಾನ್ ಮಹುಗೆ ಹೇ ಒಯ್ದುಮಾತ ಹುನಿಯಾ ಟಿವಿ ಬಲ್ಲವಾ ಲೋಬಿತಿ ರೈತುನಂ ಅರಿಸ್ಕುರಂ